Doesn't mean that Hillary would have been a good choice either. She was a terrible choice. She's a corrupt politician, one of the most unlikable people that's ever run for office. They were trying to get people to be supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. Women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician, completely full of shit. She's been full of shit forever. But meanwhile, just a puppet of banks, and those people make piles of money from speeches, and there's major problems with the Clinton Foundation. It's not even around anymore. It's a dark, dark, dark legion. And meanwhile, she's doing all this Me Too talk. Her husband's a goddamn predator.
Yeah.
He's been a predator forever.
Yeah.
She said that Monica Lewinsky was a grown woman and it wasn't an abuse of power. Get the fuck out
How
of here.
old is Monica?
She was 20.
Hillary Clinton attempted to reshape her political legacy, but Joe Rogan arrived with a verbal sledgehammer, completely uninterested in her revisionist narrative. From the email controversy to her endless blame-shifting tour, Rogan didn't just challenge her, he obliterated the entire spectacle. This wasn't a roast, it was a demolition. With sharp wit, savage insight, and unrelenting humor, Rogan sliced through the spin like a hot mic caught in the act. Hillary sought applause, but what she faced was Rogan armed with facts and fueled by fire.
He is, and he's actually still kind of good looking. Like, even for an older dude. Yeah, why not? He's still so good looking, and she's just so miserable.
She was publicly humiliated, and she thought that her big retribution would become president.
I'm running for president, and I'm in it to win it.
You know, become president.
Sure.
And then that would be it. All water under the bridge. I'm a strong woman. I'm running this country. And then America was like...
Somehow, Hillary Clinton glides through political scandals as if she's walking a red carpet heels high, grin firmly in place, with a trail of deleted emails floating behind her like confetti. But Joe Rogan doesn't just roast her. He eviscerates her entire political career with the sharpest tools at his disposal. And this isn't a delicate operation. It's an all-out demolition of decades of political theater, featuring the same lead actress who keeps forgetting her lines, but still expects a standing ovation.
I was infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real, I really wonder. Like this Seth Rich.
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
The Clinton Foundation, for instance.
So, the Iraq.
Hillary's profile
Rogan
would be
plunges
top-ranked
straight
with
into
endorsements
Hillary's
from
knack for
irony and
reinvention.
confusion.
The woman
Feminist
has
icon
rebranded
and foreign
herself
policy
more times
flip-flopper
than
in
a tech
single breath.
startup with no
Democracy
customers.
had a LinkedIn page.
One
The woman
minute,
has
she's a
rebranded herself
champion
more
for
times
women's
than a tech
rights,
startup
and the
with zero
next,
customers.
she's
1
accepting
minute,
checks
she's a
from
women's
regimes
rights
where
warrior.
women's
Rogan
rights are a
dives in
distant
headfirst
dream.
with Hillary's talent for
Somehow,
reinvention.
she manages to juggle being both a feminist icon and a foreign policy flip-flopper in the same breath. If hypocrisy had a LinkedIn page, Hillary's profile would be top-ranked, with glowing endorsements from irony and confusion. 4.
Yeah, she really did say that.
Yeah, she really did say that after she just got done Gaddafi and then laughed about it.
We came, we saw, he died.
We came, we saw, he died. The fact that any human being would ever do that. By the way he died, that's some dark.
Joe doesn't hold back in pointing out the uncomfortable truth. Hillary's political career has been one long audition for a role the voters never asked her to play. It's as if America sat through the pilot, hated it, canceled the show, and yet she still shows up at the Emmys demanding recognition. Her relentless commitment to trying again and again without changing a single plot point is either sheer dedication or outright delusion. Probably both. Definitely both.
The thing was, he was packing stadiums.
Yeah.
She couldn't even fill a fucking high school gymnasium.
Right. She was pulling all the strings, and she had all the favors that she was pulling in, and she had a shit ton of money behind her, and they were completely arrogant, and all the liberal elite in the media thought there was no chance that she was going to lose. She's 95% shoe-in to win the presidency, and she walked around like she was 95%.
She already thought she won.
Yeah.
But
Hillary's
the one
profile
story
would be
that just
top-ranked with
won't die
endorsements
because
from
Hillary
irony
treated
and
a
confusion.
government server
Feminist
like it
icon
was her
and
personal
foreign policy
Pinterest board.
flip-flopper in a single
Rogan
breath.
dives
If
into it
hypocrisy
like
had
a
LinkedIn
stand-up
page,
routine
the
that
woman has
practically
rebranded
writes
herself
itself
more times than a
because,
tech startup with
frankly,
zero
it
customers.
does.
1 minute,
She set
she's
up a
women's
private
rights
email
warrior.
server for
Rogan dives in
convenience,
headfirst
only
with
to
Hillary's
create
talent
a
for
digital
reinvention.
shrine to bad decisions. And yet, through it all, she played the victim as though starring in an off-Broadway tragedy titled Asterisk Accountability is Sexist Asterisk Forever.
Forever. If you watch the conversation between James Comey, when James Comey testified about what he did and what they found with the Hillary Clinton emails, and then her version of it, she's just a straight liar.
Yeah.
She deleted 33,000 emails.
How the do you do that? And then
Even worse than that, when they rigged the DNC, they rigged the primaries so that Bernie Sanders was going to lose. She had her people into the DNC.
That was crazy.
The DNC pivots seamlessly to the Clinton Foundation, also known as the family business that somehow manages to be a charity, a political tool, and a black hole of mysterious funding all at once. Money pours in, influence seeps out, and what happens in between
Hillary's
is
profile
anyone's
would be
guess.
top-ranked with
The
endorsements
foundation's
from
tax
irony
forms
and confusion.
probably require a
Feminist icon
decoder,
and
ring,
foreign
and a
policy
priest.
flip-flopper in a
Rogan
single
paints
breath.
the picture
If
crystal
hypocrisy had a
clear.
LinkedIn
It's
page,
not
the
public
woman has
service, it's
rebranded
public
herself more
relations
times than a
with a
tech startup
donation
with
button.
0 customers.
Then comes the
1 minute, she's a
2016
women's rights
election,
warrior.
the most
Rogan dives in
high-profile
headfirst with
faceplant
Hillary's
in
talent
modern
for
politics.
reinvention.
Hillary had the media, the donors, former presidents, celebrities, and an actual parade of confetti and still lost. Joe practically dances through the absurdity of a billion-dollar campaign that was so robotic it made vending machines seem relatable. Whether it's decades-old real estate deals, foreign donations, or suspiciously timed speeches to Wall Street execs, she always wears the same expression, part shock, part confusion, and completely rehearsed. It's like watching a soap opera character who just realized they're the villain after 6 seasons of gaslighting.
One of my favorite clips is Hillary Clinton when she was running 2012. She was more MAGA than MAGA.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
You have to wait in line. That's so mad.
Joe Rogan doesn't shy away from Benghazi either, a foreign policy debacle that quickly became a buzzword for incompetence. The story wasn't just about tragedy. It was about the absurd lengths Hillary and her department went to in order to pretend it wasn't their fault. Accountability was dodged like it was a dodgeball tournament, and she was wearing
Hillary's
the
profile
bullseye.
would be top-ranked with
Rogan
endorsements
runs with it,
from irony
pointing
and
out that her
confusion.
strategy
Feminist icon
seemed to be
and
deny,
foreign policy
deflect,
flip-flopper in a
distract,
single breath.
and then write
If
a book
hypocrisy
about
had a
how
LinkedIn
misunderstood
page,
she
the woman
is.
has rebranded
Speaking
herself
of
more
books,
times than a tech
Hillary's
startup
post-loss
with 0
memoir
customers.
is a treasure
1 minute,
trove of
she's a women's
deflection
rights warrior.
and self-importance.
Rogan dives in headfirst
Joe
with Hillary's
dissects it
talent
like
for
it's a bizarre
reinvention.
fan fiction
I was
where the
getting
author
shot
plays
at. It's
both
like,
the hero
I can't
and the
imagine,
misunderstood
I was just talking about
genius.
lack of empathy.
Every
I can't
chapter
imagine
feels
being
like
in
a
a
therapy
situation where I'm
session
on
with
television
herself, but
and I'm
one
saying
where
things
she
that are so
interrupts the
removed from the
therapist
truth.
to blame
Right.
James
Like,
Comey,
I
the
can't wrap my head
media,
around that.
and
Well, Hillary
misogyny.
did the same
Joe
thing.
Well, she's
paints
a
the picture
congenital liar,
perfectly.
as she was
Hillary
referred to
walks
by
on
the New York
stage
Times back
with
in
the
the day.
energy
Right,
of a
and rightly
malfunctioning
so, but
hologram,
people forget
delivering
this. She
speeches
did
so
talk-
choreographed they'd make a Broadway choreographer blush. Spontaneity isn't in her vocabulary, relatability traded for talking points. She speaks to voters like she's reading them a user manual, somehow making inspiration sound more like a warning.
Like, I was getting shot at. It's like, I can't imagine, I was just talking about lack of empathy. I can't imagine being in a situation where I'm on television and I'm saying things that are so removed from the truth.
Right.
Like, I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, Hillary did the same thing.
Well, she's a congenital liar, as she was referred to by the New York Times back in the day. But,
And rightly so, but people forget this. She did talk about a firefight that she was involved in.
I was under sniper fire, and the worst thing about that people didn't give a shit about, she said when she was in Bosnia, she was under sniper fire. It's like, wait a minute, you're throwing the Secret Service under the bus. Because what kind of secret, and she just basically did a double talk around that, but she's got a lot of whoppers in her name. She said she was named after Edmund Hillary, even though he climbed Mount Everest after she was born. So she's amazing. I love that woman. I love her so much. She's the funniest person on earth.
She's a scary lady.
She's like a slinky. She's always falling down the stairs.
Ah!
Yeah, she's the human slinky.
How dare you?
Yeah.
It's an odd duck. It's one of those things where women want a woman to be president so bad. They want one for the team so bad. And then there's so many people from the left that think she has the best chance of.
Rogan doesn't hold back when tapping into Hillary's tech illiteracy, which is even more terrifying when you realize she was in charge of national cyber policy. Watching Hillary interact with technology is like watching your grandma try to navigate TikTok buttons, confusion, and endless "where did the email go?" energy. She once confused wiping a server with using a cloth. That's not a punchline. It's a national security concern wrapped in comedy gold. Then there's her self-appointed role as the face of progress. Hillary acts like she invented feminism, equality, and political grades,
I was getting
while her
shot
track
at.
record is more of a checklist of
I was just talking about lack of
compromises,
empathy. I
contradictions,
can't imagine being in
and
a situation where I'm on
opportunistic
television
alliances.
and I'm saying
Joe
things that are
doesn't miss
so
a beat.
removed from the truth.
He calls
Right.
out her
Like,
support
I
of
can't wrap my head
policies
around that.
Well,
that
Hillary
hurt the
did the
very
same thing.
communities
Well, she's a
she
congenital
later
liarist,
claims
as
to
she was
champion.
referred to by
He
the New York
hammers it
Times back in the
home.
day.
Hillary
And
weaponized
rightly
her
so, but
marriage when it
people
suited
forget
her,
this.
defended
She
it when
did
it was
talk about it.
indefensible,
would be
and
top
spun
ranked
it like
with
a
endorsements
romance
from
novel,
irony and
ghost-written
confusion.
by denial.
Feminist icon
She
and
played the
foreign
loyal
policy
wife, the
flip-flopper in a
fierce
single
independent,
breath.
and
If
the
hypocrisy
backroom
had a LinkedIn
strategist,
page, the
all
woman has
depending on
rebranded
the
herself more
audience
times
and the
than a tech
moment.
startup with
The
zero
Clintons were
customers.
never just a
1
couple,
minute,
they
she's
were a
women's
brand.
rights warrior.
A
Rogan dives in
confusing,
headfirst with
scandal-riddled
Hillary's
brand
talent
with
for
more
reinvention.
spin than a washing
An
machine
ongoing
in an
masterclass
earthquake.
in political
Joe
cosplay.
digs into Hillary's
1 week,
uncanny
she's a
ability to
podcast
use
host.
every
The next, a
setback as a
masterclass
ladder,
instructor.
failed
As if
policies,
public memory
lessons,
has the attention
massive
span of a
criticism,
goldfish
proof of
on
her
espresso.
brilliance.
As the
Hillary
last
could trip
line of
over her
defense
own narrative and
against
still
tyranny.
call it a power
After losing
move.
to a guy who
She's
ranted
the
like a
only person
sitcom
who can
uncle
claim
during
victimhood
Thanksgiving
and
dinner.
leadership in the
Joe
same
Rogan
sentence,
didn't even
all
need
while
a second
maintaining
gear
eye
to slice
contact
through the
with a
delusion.
camera and a
While
lobbyist
Hillary
at the
tried
same
repackaging
time.
herself.
One of the things I always point out, like people want to talk progressive, you want to talk, being left wing, and she didn't even believe in gay marriage until 2013.
The best part was she was on NPR, which is this far right fringe organization, right? NPR, Terry Gross. And Terry Gross says, you used to be against gay marriage. Your husband passed DOMA, which made it a federal law that gay marriage won't be recognized by the federal government. And you changed your position. Like, how did that happen? Was it because Americans became... And Hillary's like, well, America changed their point of view. She goes, no. I understand Americans changed their point of view. What was your mental process? And she goes, no, Terry, you're saying that I changed my mind for political purposes, and that's not true. And she starts yelling at her, and it's like, holy shit, you're on NPR and you think they're too right-wing for you because they're calling you out on your bullshit, you fucking loon.
Hillary's social media presence is less relatable millennial energy and more awkward intern vibes, with a side of detached superiority.
Public memory
Joe doesn't hold back. Watching Hillary tweet is like witnessing a slow-motion car crash into a thesaurus. Every post desperately tries to stay culturally relevant, but ends up sounding like a PTA newsletter trying to cosplay as woke. Her hashtags are forced, her memes are outdated, and her GIFs look like someone Googled hip internet moment 2012 and never updated their browser. Joe wraps his roast with Hillary's uncanny ability to insert herself into every political conversation, whether invited or not. She's like the unskippable ad of American politics, always there, always grinning, always pitching herself as the solution to the problems she helped create. Whether it's 2024, 2028, or the apocalypse, Hillary will find a camera, tilt her head just so, and insist that she warned us. She's the ghost of campaigns past, wandering CNN studios and college lecture halls like a wandering PR spirit.
Hillary Clinton has a very weird and I think shitty marriage. I don't think she has a husband who is in love with her or faithful to her. And I think I can't really blame him because she seems to have accepted this behavior since the inception of their marriage. And so past his prologue, you're going to get what you tolerate. What you permit, you promote. She spent all of her daughter's upbringing away. At work.
Just when you think Hillary's saga couldn't spiral further into the absurd, enter the post-2016 reinvention Tehran ongoing masterclass in political cosplay. 1 week, she's a podcast host, the next, a masterclass instructor. Somewhere in between, she morphs into the oracle of democracy.
1 week, she's
It's
a
like
podcast
watching
host,
someone fail the
next,
final
a
exam
masterclass
and then get
instructor.
hired to
As if
teach the
public
course.
memory has
Joe
the
Rogan
attention
didn't
span.
even need a second gear to slice through the delusion. While Hillary tried to repackage herself as the comeback queen, He saw that circus coming from a mile away. And let's not forget the breathtaking audacity to brand herself as the last line of defense against tyranny after losing to a guy who ranted like a sitcom uncle during Thanksgiving dinner.